Good morning. It's 20 past 7. Viernes de Dolores. Day of Sorrow. I'm going to have to find out what the correct translation is. Anyway, it's a public holiday in parts of Spain, not where I am, but I'm working to a calendar of the Murcia region, or Cartagena, which is a holiday, so I'm off up the mountains. I'm going to do one that I've had in my sights for, well, years now, I suppose. It's called Trevenque, and it's known as the queen of the lower mountains. It's a peak that is the end of the foothills of Sierra Nevada. Rises to 2,079 meters, so well over 6,000 foot. We'll be starting at, if memory serves, about 1,500 meters, so about 4,500, 4,700 foot. So the ascent isn't a huge amount. It's an interesting peak because it just stands out alone at the end of the foothills, and from there you see the high mountain. Anyway, so we're heading up the road towards the little village or hamlet known as Cumbres Verdes, so the green peaks. The last houses before you're heading off up into the foothills. And you get, as you come up this road, you get a nice view of the high mountain, which is still very heavily snowed, and we should get a good view of Trevenque, which is the peak which we're hopefully going to climb. So I'll bring you back as I can have a look at both. So here we go. This is Trevenque that you can just see. Well, I'm struggling with the focusing to get you there. This is Trevenque. So you can just see there. I apologise for the terrible camera work. And the high mountain, where you can see that in the background. Hopefully, I'm sure we get plenty more pictures of it, but that's where we're heading off today. So we're just catching the sunlight reaching Pico de Caballo, well over 11,000 foot, and then just coming back out and panning to my left. You see the ridge that we're going to be walking, and then that rises to the peak of Trevenque. See what we can see. Might be difficult with the light. There's a bit of a scramble to get to the top. I'm not entirely sure of the route. I have had a look at a lot of the maps and information. So we'll see. The eagle eye of amongst you might recognise this part of the mountains, because this is the Juanes Massif, where we went exactly a year ago. It was Friday, Viernes de Dolores, last year, 2025, when we walked around and up, and just panning across to the north. You can see the mist accumulating in the valleys. Anyway, that's it until we start the walk. So we're at the trailhead now. I've just parked up. 3 degrees and just gone 7:30 in the morning. Our path takes us up this part here along a ridge until we see the peak of Trevenque towering above us. It's actually pretty cold. 3 degrees. It's perhaps been freezing up here. Should get up to around about 17 degrees at midday, but I hope to be back down and at home well before then anyway. So we'll start here. It's the first time I've done this route, so I'll be picking my way. Hopefully I won't make too many navigating mistakes. We've been at this starting point several times already. Anyway, we'll see how things move on. So this is the start of the walk, Trevenque, the path PRA 21. That was the path where we took going to Juenes, which is in front of us. Sun's yet to come up. This one looks fairly steep to start, and it is as far as I recall. But well, that's what the mountains give you, and no pain and no gain, I suppose, is the phrase. Anyway, I just had a quick look at the internet and I was right. So Vienes de Dolores, Vienes de Dolores, if I can say my Spanish clearly enough, is Friday of Sorrows. Vienes being Friday, and dolor is pain, but there's lots of different pains, of course, and sorrow is one of the pains you might get. So Friday of Sorrows, there will be a biblical reference to it, but I'm afraid I don't know much about that kind of thing. But it's the first day of the start of the Easter holidays, not celebrated in every part of Spain, but it is in certain places. For a lovely view of the Dilar ridge in front of us, with the sun just coming up and the clouds over the valley, and Boca de Pesca. Just have a look at that, it's just been illuminated. Isn't that wonderful? Look at that. And you can just make out the little building where we were some time ago last year. That's actually higher than the peak that we just bypassed to get there. Anyway, it's going to be a bit of a uphill path to start with, so I'll bring you back as I can find interesting things to show you. So quick stop to pan round. There's Granada, the city of Granada, well below us. Here's the car park where I left the car, and the start of many of the trails that I've done. Panning round, this is the route to take you to Boca de la Pesca, the fish's mouth. The clouds just starting to rise over the valley, the Dilar ridge. You can hear the river going down the valley, and you can see the sunlight filtering through the rest of the mist. It's actually a lot colder than the 3 degrees right now. I've just had a stop to unpack my scarf, my gloves, and I thought I'd packed a bobble hat, but I haven't. But I have got another cap. Look at that, it's just fantastic. Quite what that is, I don't know. The cry of some kind of bird. Anyway, let's crack on, because whilst I've got most of the morning free, I need to be back home by around about midday. Down below us you can see the esparto grass weaver's channel, snaking its way round and heading off into a tunnel, and heading off up the Dilar Valley. I don't think we're going to see any more of it, but that's part of it. Anyway, our track looks fairly simple to follow, at least for the first part. Nice wide track, lots of loose rocks, but fairly flat. This is obviously being used to move men and materials over time. Exactly to where, I don't know, but anyway, it's making for fairly reasonable walking, not too strenuous. It is bitingly cold, so as I said just a little bit earlier, I've stopped for scarf, hat and gloves. That's probably because we're well hidden away from the sun, and perhaps once we round this next corner we'll get the first rays on us, and then it will soon warm up, I'm sure. We've been having a dry spell, hasn't rained here for 2 weeks, but when it did rain, well, here would have been covered in snow, I'm afraid. The road up here, they've resurfaced part of it, probably following the very heavy rains earlier in the year. Nicely concreted, but then it lulls you into a false sense of security, because in other parts where the rain has washed away the surface material, you get deep ruts. So you're speeding along, well, not speeding along, but you're going along on a nicely newly concreted surface, and then all of a sudden ruts ahead, and you need to reduce speed or your car will suffer the consequences. Anyway, it's transitable, but you just need to take it very, very slow, as if you were going over a sleeping policeman, one of these really heavy ones that occasionally you find on the roads. So we're just rounding the corner. We'll see the higher mountain in a moment, but no, we're not into the sun quite yet. I guess in maybe half an hour we will be. So I'll bring you back. This is what happens when you're heading up these mountains. From a distance they look impenetrable. You think, how on earth am I going to walk up that? This is a walking route with a short stretch of scrambling near to the very top, and you can start to see it opening up. I'm quite happy scrambling, no problems. The issue going up is no problem at all. It's coming down which gives me a little more uncertainty. So we're now coming up to a crossing point, and I'm not sure which way I really want to go here. Could be left, could be right. Let me have a look. So looks like part of the track has been washed away here, so we'll just need to climb up a little bit to avoid it. It doesn't present any difficulties in doing so. You really wouldn't want to be here in bad weather. These rocks are given an appearance of stability, but yet they're not. Let's have a look at this, see what's been washed away. Yep, heading off down the valley there. Not good. So fairly straightforward to cross past, no great problems. I can see plenty of fresh footprints, bicycle marks, maybe even a horse perhaps. I've seen evidences of horses earlier down the track. Now, do I need to turn off here or carry on? At one point we're going to need to turn left, as far as I know. I don't think it's here. I'm going to carry on up here. This is a route that I've seen on one of the local hiking websites called 1001 Rutas, 1001 routes, and they do their walks, do an excellent write-up. I'll put a link in, and that links into a program called Wikilocks. I don't know if anyone's come across that before in the UK, where I think most of my viewers come from, but it's an application that you can use, and I think it plots your route on a map and allows others to follow your footsteps. I think you have to subscribe to it and probably pay a monthly fee, but you can get visibility of the route at a simple user's point of view. Is another rock slip exposing the water pipes that are heading off down here. So yes, the route is described as 3.5 hours, and it's described as difficult, and yet I've seen another route, not exactly the same one that I'm doing here, but heading up onto the peak of Trevenque, describing it as easy. The Spanish one is probably the one I would favour. I think it's more conservative. The other one was written in English, and easy, difficult, very much depends on your point of view, what your experiences are, and so on. I will tend to be more conservative and imagine that it will, well, I know it will, because the peak, even though from a distance looks almost impossible to scale, there will be some scrambling. So we'll see. Anyway, this part is relatively easy. There's a steady incline as we're going up. Good rock surface, well, not rock surface, good surface. Doesn't present any difficulties. Some places where the water has eroded the soil away, perhaps mainly during the rains that we've had at the start of this year, which have been very heavy. We're not into the sunlight yet, but it's not as cold as it was, although I suspect that's because I'm warming up to the task. Anyway, it's a lovely countryside. It's not wooded, lots of scrubland, occasional trees, some magnificent views over the high mountains and lower mountains. I don't think I'm going to come across any snow at my level, but you never know. In the shadows there may well be some remnants from a couple of weeks ago. It's quite possible. Anyway, I'm sure there'll be more to see as we carry on. The path's doubled back as we zigzag our way ever higher upwards. You get another view of the lower mountain now, more clearly in snow, although there's a little bit of mist on Boca de Pesca. The clouds are now rising over the vale. It's still quite cold. I feel quite warm with all the effort, although at the moment really it's continuously uphill, but relatively simple. Still no sign of the sun at the moment, although I'm sure it's getting ever closer. This is what happens in my office. We're high up towards the Cuenes Massif, and that blocks the sunlight until well after daybreak. Of course, we're up at the weekend, because it's Friday, so this Sunday will be, where are we now? It's the 28th, 27th, 28th. This Sunday the clocks will change, so it'll be darker in the morning again for a while, but the days very quickly gather pace, and normally when I start work at 7 o'clock the sun will be there. Normally up until around about this time it's just about light, depending on what time I open the office window. Sometimes that's nearer to 6:30, sometimes nearer to 7. So the little peak in front of us is well in sunlight, but we're still in the cold, shall we say. So the trail continues and I'm sure there'll be more to see. So here's a couple of marker posts indicating my way. Maybe that's an alternative route back down the mountain. It looks to be that way, although I didn't really see it on the way up. Maybe I'll take that as an indicating point for the way back. We'll have a look. Anyway, it's marking me clearly to come this way, so I'm going to follow it for the time being, and we'll see where it leads. I'm sure I'll pick up the trail. Now it's pointing me up here. There are some steps, so I think that's where I'm heading now. Let's see what we find. And yeah, there's another marker post there, so this is clearly the way there I'm meant to be taking. Nice little rocky canyon to walk through here. So this is relatively simple walking land, as I said a few times before. Still no sign of the sun. It's a cracking walk, no doubt about it. So it's going to start to get steeper here as far as I can see. So I'll bring you back a little bit later, I think. What do you know? 20 past 8, maybe 25, and I'm in the sun, and we're at a viewpoint called the Sands. I'm going to call it that, the Sands of Trevenque. There's a description here about how it arrived at. It's dolomite from the Triassic age to 210, 230 million years, sorry. Very much fractured and eroded. And formed out of the growth of Sierra Nevada as the African plate pushed forward and opened up the land and raised it, and then it fractured as it moved, leaving the peak here. I'll just swing you around, but I'm not entirely sure what we'll see because of the sun still being quite low. There's a nice silhouette anyway. So let's just turn you around. I'll keep it low and then raise it. You can see the sun's rays. And there she blows Trevenque. Focus in. Might still be able to see something. Very complicated to do this, I think, and I'm no expert, but there you go. There's the silhouette. So still a bit to go. We've done around about 3/4 of an hour now. So the signpost draws us downhill here to what is known as the Toma del Canal. So that's the source of the Canal Espartero, the Esparta grass weavers channel, the source of that, where I have been. I've just yet to get it on film, rather yet to get the film published. It's quite a story. It snakes all the way round past Boca de la Pesca, which we can see here, heads steeply downhill in a tube and then into a generating station, but even then that's not the end of the story. So I believe our path is here. You can see it well marked, although it's not signed. This is the point on the guidebook which said go left, so I'm going left and we'll see where this takes us. I'm sure I'll be taking my gloves and scarf on soon. I can start to feel the sweat and the heat. Exceptionally well wrapped up and prepared for all conditions. I wish I'd taken my bobble cap, but I don't think I'm going to need it from here onwards. I'm sure there'll be a little bit more shadow before we're out in the sun. So, as I always say, I'll bring you back. I'm a bit bemused about this. Who would come all the way up here to paint graffiti? I don't know. Some people. Anyway, plunge back into the cold of the shadow. Chance to focus in on the high mountain, which I will duly do. Pico de Caballo. I just keep it rolling for a short while until we're back into the sun, which will probably make it very difficult to make any decent filming in the forward direction. So gloves off now. I'm going to take the scarf off too. A little bit of a drink stop, a little bite to eat, and then crack on. No cheese and pickle, I'm afraid, Ron. I'll tell you the recipe in a minute. Well, the mountain's now really opening up, and you can see the shadows on the snow. Trevenque doesn't seem to be any closer. 3.5 hours to do this round trip. I think somebody must have been running, and I say that, and you have to watch out for these reports, because sometimes they actually do list it as running. My plan for today is to be back home for around about 12:30ish, something like that. So I'll go as far as I can, and if it looks like it's just too much, then I'll come back another time with more time on my hands, really. I'm just going to climb up this little slope because I'm going to get a good view over Juenes, the peaks at Juenes. See what we can see here. Oh yes, well, we're climbing up here a little bit. This is the Juenes Valley. You can see the route that I took a year ago in the higher part of Monachil, and then the hills in front here. A zigzag path took us all the way up this part here. I can't actually see, you can just about make it out in the middle of that semi-wooded area in front. Yeah, that's the route that I would have taken. Anyway, let's get back onto the proper path and carry on. So yo normalmente estudio un poquito el camino en casa en el ordenador. Luego normalmente llevo un plano en papel, pero los planos de esta zona son demasiado
complejos, ¿no?
No es eso, es que no he conseguido un plano en detalle para una área reducida. Lo que tengo son los planos y guías de Sierra Nevada, que está dividido en dos, y se ve cosas, pero no con un detalle adecuado para hacerlo.
¿No hay aquí algún sitio de cartografía o algo donde puedas conseguir mapas oficiales?
Pues,
tiene que haber seguro.
Pues seguro, pero no, yo no conozco.
Sí, no, claro.
Y he encontrado Wikilocs por todo lo que he buscado por YouTube y esas cosas, pero no tenía claro cómo va, lo que iba a pagar y muchos.
Los coches por allí subiendo a la sierra.
Sí. La reflexión del.
Estamos altos, estamos en 1780 metros.
Estaba cerrado por el party cerca de Pinos Genil. Mira eso, vamos a tener en 5 minutos la sierra en sombra.
Sí.
Madre mía, mira eso. So there in the distance we're now in shadow. That's where in theory we're going. Bumped into a young lad called Alvaro who's going to do the same route, first time for him. So we'll see where we get to. No idea how I'm going to get back down, but at the moment the only way is up. So we can get up before the clouds develop us. Well, I've arrived up to this point here, and what a struggle it's been to get up here. The clouds are just coming in, and there's a descent to do, which I'll probably be going down on my bum. I'm pretty certain. It's very, very steep. The ground is okay, but there are sections where there's lots of stones, so there's a bit of uncertainty there. I'm probably only about less than 100 meters of climbing, but it's now 10 o'clock in the morning, and this is taking me 2.5 hours to get up here. I think that's somebody who's probably spent the night up there. I wonder if I can focus in. Somebody shaking out the remains of a tent. Been up there all night, I suspect. Perhaps. Good on him. We're probably at around about 2,000 meters, 6,000 foot. It's a shame not to have got to the peak, but it's really there's just too much of a climb, or a scramble rather. It's not a climb, in order to get up, get down, and really I need to be back by at home by midday. So with a very heavy heart, I'm going to take the wise decision and turn around. Tried to give the young lad who was following my route a shout, but I think he's just too far up to be able to hear me. I'm sure he'll realise that this old codger is not going to last the pace. I told him as much anyway. So it's now a scramble. I don't think I'm really going to be able to record too much of this, because it's just too steep, as you can probably make out. There are some voices down below, other people following the track, and maybe I'll come back one day, but as you can see the clouds are coming in, and I'm keen to get down onto the safe part before we're enveloped in any mist. So I'm going to take a short break to fortify myself, and then it's going to be on my hands and knees and well, probably my hands and bum coming down, taking it safe and slow, but arriving. It's been a fantastic walk. Very good company, Alvaro. Hope to bump into him again. I don't have his contact details, but maybe I'll be able to find it. Anyway, that's me signing off for now. Going to have a quick short break, and then I'm heading off back down the mountain. Absolutely wonderful scenery here.